I came across this newspaper article from 1881, and it struck me because it is so similar to the struggle that I am going through now as well with food. And just listen to this way that they put this. I couldn't believe this was in 1881 because I was thinking that food was a lot healthier in the past, and maybe I didn't go back far enough. Maybe I'm thinking of the ancient distant past. But maybe even then it wasn't. But either way, listen to this. This I thought was ridiculous, and this made me lose a lot of hope in the food industry ever becoming good again. But here we go. It says the household, making trade for grave diggers, valuable household recipes. I love the sarcasm of the 1800s because believe me, that's sarcastic. So listen to this. From the objections that are made to one after another of the commonest articles of diet, it would appear that there is among us a number of base persons who are conspiring to make trade for grave diggers, the food industry. There is not a single dish in common use but is soundly abused by someone. Bread is said to be worthless because it lacks the gluten of the wheat. Butter is said to be the cause of biliousness, bile. Salt thickens the blood and makes the user cross. Milk softens the muscles and bones. That's a lot different than we've been taught. Beefsteak contains prussic acid. Mutton is unfit to eat unless it has been kept so long that it is unfit to smell. Pork means trichinae, which is another like a virus or a foodborne illness. Fish thins the blood. Tomatoes produce cancer. That's great, and we knew that one because tomatoes are one of the big dirty dozen. That's just nowadays, if you don't get organic tomatoes, they are just terrible. And I guess that was the same back in the day too, but maybe it's all tomatoes, who knows. It's a sad topic, but here we go. Tomatoes produce cancer. Berries sour on the stomach, the coats of which are ruined by rhubarb stalks in pie or sauce. Green beans produce boils, and the dreary list might be extended indefinitely. Between all these calamities and death by starvation, the other option, there is not much choice unless one prefers to prolong a miserable existence by using some of the alleged foods that are put up in bottles with attractive labels. Yet somehow people go on eating all the dreadful things and living, and when any particular food product fails and another is substituted, the health of the public does not seem to suffer by the change. If the people who buy family stores will pay less attention to talk about the healthfulness of various articles of food and more attention to such methods of cooking as will make food most palatable and easy of digestion, there need be little fear of the natural quality of the rough materials brought to the cook. It is dry, tough steak, the leathery slices of fried ham, the underdone vegetables and overdone meats, the greasy pies and heavy cake that play the mischief with the American digestion, health, and temper. And now, I mean, I was shocked to see this happening in 1881. I kind of knew at some point the food industry became just terrible and corrupt and disgusting, but I didn't know it was this early. And again, I mean, it's like, what do we do? This is the dilemma that I find myself in nowadays, where it's almost better to fast than it is to eat certain things. All of the foods that I've been eating for so many years have gotten so much progressively worse, and the quality is terrible. And I try my very best, and I religiously read every label for things I can't pronounce, and I don't eat it. I stay away from natural flavors. Majority of my food that I consume is organic, and but it's not. I don't think it's good enough because it's just I mean I feel great a lot of the time, but you never know. I mean, it's just, I feel like we're in a place where whenever I fly, I look over a city and I think to myself, how is it possible that we're feeding this many people? When you look at one small section of an overflight and then you consider the masses of the country and the world, it makes me wonder just how they're doing it. And in order to do it, I guess they almost have to do it in a mass-produced, terrible way. But it's getting worse and worse as time goes on, and they're spraying everything. They're GMO, everything, everywhere. This topic could go on forever. I'm not going to dive into all of those things, the Bill Gateses and the Chinese farmland and the everything, because it's just a loaded topic. But either way, I just found this article very interesting because, making trade for grave diggers, that's almost what is still happening today. And now it's more like the medical industry, making trade for the medical industry by causing all these health problems. They don't want us dead. They just want us in need of medical attention at all times. And they've done it by corrupting the food terribly. So hopefully one day we can restore the food system to supreme health, and whether it's raw or cooked, again, I don't know. I don't know the best thing. It's just one of those topics that's so packed with misinformation that it's just a complete dissonance when you're trying to figure out the reality of it. And I think, again, that's what they want. And apparently they've always wanted that. And it still gets me, though, even when people I know that have so much money and they shop at Walmart, or they go on vacations, they have fancy cars, they have amazing mansions and houses and do all these things, but they get food at Walmart and the cheapest food possible. And I know that at least is the wrong direction, but organic can only stay organic for so long before that gets corrupted too, and probably already has. It's just a poop show of craziness. And if anyone has any insight out there, include it, because it's always good to find people that research this topic and are in the same type of dilemma who may have some answers. So let's help each other out. Bless you all, and let's eat better.